YouTube is now on easy mode because according to YouTube employee Todd Dupree, they're making changes to the algorithm that make it easier than ever to win as a small channel, which has created a massive opportunity for creators to make money. And we're already seeing guys like Iman Ghazi, Charlie Morgan, and Jordan Welsh take advantage of it by ditching their millions of subscribers. Now, the new way to win isn't based on luck, and honestly, it's not that simple. However, once you understand it, you'll be able to start making money even with a tiny audience. Like my client who closed a high-ticket deal on a channel with under 300 subscribers. Now in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how this shift works and how you can use it to start making money on YouTube. But before you can take advantage of this opportunity, you need to know what changed in the first place. See, YouTube used to be all about how much the audience enjoyed your video. They would find a group of people, push your YouTube to that group, and depending on who liked it, or if anybody at all, then they'd push it out to the next group or not. However, now it's the complete opposite. See, Todd Dupree, who is basically the guy behind the YouTube algorithm, said that now they focus on the viewer first. But what does that actually mean? Well, that means instead of pushing it to a small group of people and seeing who likes it, they only push it to the people who they know will like it to begin with, because YouTube is getting better than ever at analyzing their data. So as a business owner, this changes everything, because now that YouTube does whatever it can to serve your videos to the right audience, even a video with a couple hundred views can be filled with potential clients. All you have to do is make it super obvious for who the video is for, and guys like Jordan Welsh, Charlie Morgan, and Iman Ghazi are doing a great job of this. Like Iman Ghazi, who now has a business channel that only targets people who want to sell info products and coaching businesses. Or Jordan Welsh, who started a micro channel and is teaching the exact micro niche method that he's using on his own. You can see every video speaks to one specific person, and they don't necessarily go viral. And these guys can go viral if they want to, because their main channels have millions of subscribers. And with this new shift, they realize now is the time where you can make small videos and make big money. But knowing about this shift and what it looks like isn't enough, because this new algorithm only works if you're creating videos that your potential buyers actually want to watch. See, most business owners are still playing by the old rules, trying to go viral and get as many views as possible. So they end up making videos like 6 lessons I learned from scaling to $1 million per year. But the people watching those videos are just looking for entertainment and not solutions, which is why this new algorithm is all about making videos that actually solve the problems that your customers face. This way, YouTube knows exactly who to push the videos out to. And the easiest way to find those problems and target them is by using AI. So I'm going to walk through a quick example of basically creating somewhat of a creative brief for the audience using ChatGPT. Now I have a bunch of stuff on here. If you want to pause the video, see what I have on here, I'm basically just going to speak it out loud to ChatGPT so I can get it done quick without typing everything out. So if you want to pause here, write this stuff down, I'm just going to speak it all out in a second. So I basically gave ChatGPT this quick brief. Like I said, I just spoke that all out, and now I'm just going to tell it something as simple as, here is exactly who I target and what I sell them. I want you to find and come up with some common problems they deal with. Now, it gives me a lot of great problems, but the thing is, I want them to be centered around YouTube, and I want to know how YouTube can solve them. So I would just ask something simple as, how can YouTube solve these problems, and how can I portray that to the audience? Like, what is the concept I could go over? So now it gives me a lot of great concepts and tells me exactly how the problems I'm solving and the exact kind of concept I could implement to show them how to fix that problem. And the thing is, with this scenario, this is going to give me a lot of problem-aware videos, which is going to be like why YouTube is the cheapest lead source you're ignoring, which is a great way to kind of take those people who understand they have a problem, don't know YouTube is the solution, and then I could start to warm them up and teach them that that's the problem they're dealing with. However, just finding these concepts and problems is just one part of the process, because if you don't know how to package them correctly with the right titles and thumbnails, then your videos are never going to gain any traction, because even though you're covering the right topics and solving issues people might have, that YouTube algorithm isn't going to push them out because they're not really optimized. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop onto YouTube here. We can open up some bigger creators accounts. So Iman Ghazi, Dan Martell, and all I'm going to do is have AI take their titles and then replicate the exact framework. So what I did is I pretty much just copy and pasted some packaging from some bigger creators like Callaway and Dan Martell. All I'm going to do is give ChatGPT a prompt to take our problems or concepts and actually wrap them in these outlier frameworks. Now, as you can see, it starts to print out some really strong video titles that are actually validated with outlier frameworks. So you can see these videos already have millions of views. And now we're getting stuff like laziest way to book clients with YouTube. I'd probably change that to book calls, 13 hacks. I don't love that. How to book sales calls from YouTube so easily it feels illegal. illegal, 15 YouTube strategies that'll make you $1 million, YouTube isn't hard, it's misunderstood, how to create irresistible YouTube videos, how I booked 100 sales calls from YouTube in 5 months. Like, these are all really strong outlier frameworks, but I probably would switch them around a little bit. But this way you have like packaging that actually resonates with the algorithm and stands out, or at least is proven to stand out. But if you don't want to spend hours researching videos and building the system yourself, you could book a call below. We come up with your content ideas, we write out your scripts, and we even edit the videos so you can grow on the platform and book calls from it without doing any of the heavy lifting yourself. So if that's something you're interested in, you could book a call below. But either way, finding the right problems to solve is just the first step, because now you need to create a system that actually turns those viewers into new clients. Because while some viewers are just learning about problems, some are actually ready to buy. And if you only make videos for one group, then you're leaving money on the table. And that's why we're going to create videos at every stage of their journey. This way you create a system where you can attract people into the YouTube ecosystem, you can nurture them, and then you convert them into clients. And we're going to use some more big creators as examples. So let's look at Iman Ghazi, for example. So what we're going to be looking for is top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel videos. And all this means is that the top of funnel stuff is going to appeal the widest audience, while the middle funnel is going to appeal to less of an audience, and the bottom of funnel is going to appeal to the least audience, basically serve as the conversion mechanism. Top of funnel stuff is going to be like why billionaires hate info/coaching, because he's not necessarily going deep on a problem that somebody already knows they have, but he's introducing them to a completely different thing. So when you say why billionaires hate info/coaching, it's going to appeal to people who think that, you know, this is an interesting topic, or they want to just learn more about it, and they're going to understand what he's actually selling you on. Now, this one is a good middle funnel video. So it's going to be YouTube is now on easy mode for info business owners. And you could tell because now he's talking about YouTube and specifically a strategy within, you know, info business owners businesses, where he actually goes and educates you on the people. But we're not going to consider this bottom of funnel because he's not really talking his own results and teaching you exactly how to do something, but it's going to be strong education, and it's going to be on a topic that actually helps his ideal audience, where this is kind of just introducing them to a new topic. And then more bottom of funnel video is going to be something like my content system to sell $1 million, how I made 92.7 million with digital products, so you can just copy me. This stuff is going to be strictly social proof related, where he's going through exactly how he did something himself and then walking you through the exact process. And the whole point of doing stuff like this is because you get new people interested in the model or what you're selling in the first place, and kind of into this YouTube ecosystem. And then you give them a video like this where they start to learn how they can actually succeed with that specific model or something. And then it goes into, you know, my exact system I use to XYZ. Now, it might not be as simple as just watching 3 videos. It might take, you know, days, months, or even years, but they'll go from this video to a video like this to a video like this, where they're finally converting, because all they need is a little bit of trust between them and Iman Ghazi. And once they see everything that he's done to do it, they see him as the expert. Now, having a content system is great, but that brings us to the actual video, because you can have the best problem solving ideas, you can have the best packaging in the world, but if the script absolutely flops, then nobody's going to watch past the first couple of minutes. And even worse, no one's going to end up buying your service. So how do you actually create a script that converts? Well, I'm sorry to say it's not as simple as just throwing client results in your videos, because at the end of the day, the goal of every script should be to maximize retention while increasing conversions. So there's a certain way to structure them that actually keeps people watching, but also converts them into clients. Now, I'm not going to sit here and script out an entire video from scratch, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you through the scripting structure that I use for me and my clients, so you can see exactly how it works. So every script is pretty much going to be split into 3 parts. You're going to have the hook, you're going to have the body, and then you're going to have the outro. And this is literally the video that I'm recording right now to make it easiest for me. And really, you have the hook, which is going to be formulated off of an outlier video. And what we want to do in the hook is pretty much talk to the widest amount of people you can. The reason being because the most amount of people are going to fall off in these first, say, 15 to 30 seconds. So what you want to do is create an introduction that sets up your video without repelling too many people away. And the way you do this is by eliminating jargon, making it simple to understand, and using outlier frameworks that are already proven to work. And that's a very similar process to how we found those titles. You'll just find creators who have outlier videos and then replicate their introductions. Now, when it comes to the actual body, of course, it's going to depend on the script that you're going over, but we always do somewhat of a transition and then a teach section. This way they know why they should actually listen to what you're about to tell them. But the thing that's actually going to increase conversions is going to be this mid-roll call to action. So every video we script is going to have a mid mid-roll call to action about 30 to 50% through the video. And what this is going to do is going to increase conversions by capturing people right before they leave, but while they're still interested. So for example, a typical retention graph will drop off pretty hard in the first like 30 seconds, and it'll slowly, gradually go lower. And by the end of the video, we'll say it's, half of what it started out as, depends on, the video, what the topic is about. But you want to capture people up at 30% because you've given enough information away where they trust you, but they haven't left the video just yet. So that's going to be kind of that optimal point where you can still convert people into booked calls and, new leads for your business. And then we still have the rest of the video. Of course, once again, it depends on what the video is about, on how long these sections are going to be. And then the outro, this is going to also depend on what the rest of the funnel looks like. So when you're doing something that's more top of funnel, what you're going to want to do is drive them to a bottom of funnel video, because you might not have information that's strong enough to convert them within this exact video that you're going over, because the top of funnel stuff is really just introducing them to new topics, kind of increasing their awareness level. Whereas when you throw them to a bottom of funnel video, now they're going to get hit with social proof, know exactly how you can help them, and potentially convert into a new lead. Now, middle of funnel videos, you can try and convert them once again, like kind of similar from the mid-roll CTA, but I would once again just drive them to a bottom of funnel video to increase the chances and just get more social proof in front of them. If they want to book from that video, they could probably book from the mid-roll CTA. But that's kind of how the outros look. As for the overall structure, it's the hook, which you're pretty much going to treat as the top of the funnel of the script, and you want to get as many people, not leaving from the introduction. You're going to have the body, and you're going to have the mid-roll CTA, and you're going to have the outro. And once again, it's all going to depend on the exact script they are using, but this should give you a good understanding of how to create scripts that convert. Now, that's exactly how small channels are winning with this new YouTube algorithm in 2025. But if you want to know the specific strategies we use to help our client close a deal on a channel with under 300 subscribers, watch this video and I'll see you over there.